sets out to prove that just because a woman is 35 or more, romance in life need not be over.
God, I hope not.
Good afternoon, Miss Morgan.
What? Warbucks fed up with Annie already?
On the contrary, these need to be signed and sent back to the Board of Orphans no later than 10 o'clock tomorrow.
What for?
Well, Mr. Warbucks is so taken with Annie that he wants to adopt her.
Annie's the daughter of a millionaire.
The daughter of a billionaire.
Can you excuse me for 1 moment?
Sure.
Got any more wonderful news?
Merry Christmas, Miss Annie.
Hi, Isis. Long time no see.
Brewster, they finally let you out of prison. What were you in for this time?
Some old geezer said I swindled around $1,100.
Why'd he say that?
Because a rooster swindled him out of $1,100.
Sis, I'd like you to meet my friend from...
Jersey City.
Brewster, do me a favor and get out of here.
So, sis, who's that lady I bumped into when I walked in? Looked like she had a couple of dollars.
She works for Oliver Warbucks.
The Warbucks?
Annie, one of her orphans here is getting adopted by him.
Crummy orphan.
Yeah, living in the lap of luxury. Well, their Hannigan kids ended up in skids. It ain't fair how we scoundrel for your toolbox while she gets Warbucks.
The little brat. It ain't fair, this your life is driving me nuts. While we get peanuts, she's living fat.
Maybe she holds the key, that little lady.
To get more bucks.
Instead of less. Maybe we fix the game with something shady.
Where does that put us?
Give you one yes.
Yes!
Easy street.
Easy Street.
And is the yes, sirree, yes, sirree, yes, sirree, yes!
Easy street.
Easy Street. That's where we're
Gonna be. Yes, Mr. President. No, I'm not asking you for your help, but I am asking you to do something. We'll talk about this on Friday. Now, Mr. President, how about we bury the hatchet and you and Miss Roosevelt come over here for supper Christmas Eve? You will? Wonderful. Goodbye, Mr. President. Grace, find out what Democrats eat.
Yes, sir.
And the package for Tiffany's?
Arrived this morning, sir.
I'm going to give her the locket, and then I'm going to tell her that I want to adopt her.
She's going to be the happiest girl in the world.
Get her down here.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Annie, can we have a man-to-man talk?
You're
back to the orphanage, right?
No. Annie, I was born into a very poor family, and both my parents died before I was the age of 10. So I made a promise to myself. One way or another, I was going to be rich. Very rich.
That was a good idea.
But lately, I've realized something. No matter how much money you have, if you don't have anyone to share your life with, you might as well be broke. I was at Tiffany's the other day, and I picked this up too.
For me? Gee, thanks, Mr. Warbucks. Oh. Gee.
It's a silver locket, Annie. I saw how you always wore the old broken one around, so I made a promise to myself. I'm going to get you a new locket. So let's just take this old one off.
No! I don't want a new one!
What's the matter, Annie?
This locket. My mom and dad left it when they left me at the orphanage. And a note, too. They're coming back for me. I know I'm real lucky being here with you for Christmas. But the one thing I want, more than anything in the world, is to find my real mom and dad and be like all the other kids, with folks of my own.
Don't worry, Annie. I'll find your parents for you.
Annie, Mr. Warbucks will find your mother and father. If he has to put every organization on the job, if he has to pull every political string there is to pull.
Up to and including the White House. Annie, give me your locket.
But Mr. Warbucks.
I understand, but it could be our best clue. I'll have the FBI trace it and find out who bought it.
Okay. Maybe they should have my note, too.
Annie, you could be meeting your parents within a couple of days.
Really?
Really.
Gotta write a letter to the kids about this.
Oh,
who just walked into our WAAF studio. Why, it's none other than that wealthy industrialist and Wall Street tycoon, Oliver Warbucks. Now, Oliver Warbucks, I understand that he has something to tell the folks at home about wonderful Annie here.
Yes, good evening, Bert Healy. Annie is an 11-year-old foundling who was left by her parents on the steps of New York's Municipal Orphanage on the night of December 31st, 1922.
And aren't you now conducting a coast-to-coast nationwide search for Annie's parents?
Yes, Bert Healy, I am now conducting a coast-to-coast nationwide search for Annie's parents. Drop page. Furthermore, I'm offering a certified check for $50,000 to any persons who can prove that they're Annie's parents.
Wow! Wow! So Annie's parents, if you're listening in, be sure to write to Oliver Warbucks and care of the station, WEAM, New York. Or you can write to him directly at
my home. At my home, Bert Healy, 987 5th Avenue, New York, New York. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank the makers of all-new Oxygen toothpaste with Miracle L6 Bad Breath for letting me appear here this evening. And I just did a darn commercial.
Good night, Oliver Warbucks. Thanks for stopping by. So Annie's parents, if you're listening in, there's $50,000 and a wonderful daughter waiting for you. So get in touch right away, you hear? Well, I see by the old clock on the wall that another of our Thursday night get-togethers has gone by faster than you could say oxygen. O-X-Y-D-E-N-T. The toothpaste of the stars.
To make your teeth Hollywood bright.
So for all the Our Smiles family, Ronnie, Bonnie, and Connie, the lovely Boylan sisters, this is Bert Healy saying, hey, oh man, hey, dapper Dan, you both got your style, but brother, you're never fully dressed without a smile. Your clothes may be probably, they stand out a mile, but brother, you're never fully dressed without a smile. Who cares what they're wearing on Main Street or Savile Road? It's what you wear from ear to ear and not from head to toe that matters. So center, so gender, so long for a while. Remember, you're never fully dressed, though you may wear your rest. You're never fully dressed without a smile. Smile, 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 darling, smile. Yes, this is your old softie, Mrs. Healy's boy Bert, saying, until next week, same time, same station, bonsoir, buenas noches, gute Nacht, buena sera, and gosh, I almost forgot. Good night.
Are you the lady that runs this your orphanage?
Yeah, what do you want?
Ma'am, did you work in here 11 years ago?
Yeah.
Well, we had terrible troubles back then, and we had to leave the child right here on the front stoop.
Our little girl, our Annie.
Your Annie's parents? I can't believe it. Where did you say you came from again?
Well, we came from a little farm up in Canada with lots of chickens, ducks, geese, and roosters!
Rooster! I never would have known it was you in 100 years.
I told you, sis. Now we're gonna fool Warbucks too.
Get ourselves 50,000 big ones.
So, sis, we need your help to get some details about Andy so that we can pull this thing off.
What's in it for me?
3 ways to play.
Half.
Half? Half.
Fine. 25 grand each, but we gotta do it fast.
The kid's the problem. What would we do with her afterwards?
When I want something to disappear, it disappears for good. Now, we get the kid, we get the money, we blow this crummy town in a little Nile, Nietzsche.
Where? Oh, yeah!
Easy streets, easy streets, and the end the key.
Yes, sir! Yes, sir!
Well, Miss Farrell? I'm sorry, Annie. I've spoken to more than 1,000 people claiming to be your parents, but they were all liars and fakes.
Oh, gee.
Are you certain?
Yes, sir. None of them knew about the locket. I'm so sorry.
Well, sure, someone was gonna be my mother and father.
From the FBI.
Ah, finally. Agent Gunderson has located the manufacturer of your locket in Utica, New York.
Oh, boy!
Over 90,000 were made and sold.
Oh, gee.
Annie, I'm afraid the FBI doesn't think there's a chance in a million of finding your parents through the law.
That's okay. You tried your best.
Anyway, I guess a kid can get along without folks.
You didn't turn out so bad.
Grace, do you have those legal papers?
Oh, right here.
Annie, I'd like to adopt you.
Adopt me?
Yes or no?
If I could have my real mother and father, there's no one else in the world I'd rather have for a father than you, Mr. Warbucks.
This isn't just going to be an adoption, it's going to be a celebration. You can have anyone in the world you like. Who would you like?
Well, I guess I'd like Miss Farrell here, and Mr. Drake, and Mrs. Pugh, and, well, everybody here.
Drake,
Yes, sir.
tell the staff to get spiffed up for Annie's adoption celebration.
Yes, sir.
Oh, and the kids.
I'm afraid it'll be far past their bedtime, but we'll make sure to get them here tomorrow morning for Christmas.
Is Annie good too?
Why not? Annie, I'm the luckiest man.
I'm the luckiest kid.
Together
at last, together forever. We're tying a knot, we never can sever.
I don't need sunshine now to turn my sky to blue.
sorry, but we've spoken to
I'm
a great
sure you
number of
want
people who...
proof of who we are. Here's her birth certificate and our driver's licenses.
Baby girl, name Anne Elizabeth Mudge, born to Ralph and Shirley Mudge, New York, New York, October 28th, 1922.
October 28th. That's my birthday. Ralph, look, she's wearing the locket.
When we left Annie at the orphanage, we left her with half silver locket and kept the other half. Yes, it fits perfectly.
Oh, thank God, Ralph, she's our Anna. Annie.
What about the money, Mr. Mudge?
Well, we don't got much, but we'd be glad to give you whatever.
You haven't heard that I've offered $50,000 to any persons who can prove they're Annie's parents?
Well, no, sir, we don't want no money anyway.
Well, on the other hand, Ralph, you know the little pig farm out in New Jersey? Well, with $50,000, we could afford to bring Annie up right now in the country.
Would you mind if Annie stayed here till tomorrow morning, Christmas, and then you can come pick her up and the check?
Whatever you prefer, sir.
Goodbye, Anna. Annie, love.
Until tomorrow morning, honey, then you'll be spending the rest of your life with us. Oh, pardon me, Toots. Merry Christmas.
Well, this is...
Wonderful news.
You're right, we have just heard the most wonderful news in the world. We must celebrate. To Annie Mudge.
To Annie Mudge.
Annie!
I've lost Annie.
Sir, I have the strangest feeling that Mr. Mudge, he isn't who he says he is.
Then I won't stop till I'm sure.
But how?
I'll go straight to the top, to the President of the United States, even if he's a Democrat.
Miss Hannigan, sir, and the children from the
United States. Oh, and my butler, Drake.
Look, kids, there's presents here for all of us.
This is just come from the FBI.
Now it all fits together.
So, Mr. and Mrs. Mudge.
Good morning.
Merry Christmas, one and all.
Merry Christmas.
Well, we don't mean to bother you on Christmas and all, but we just came to pick up Annie and the check.
Ah, yes, the check. $50,000. Certified.
Paid to the order of the jig is up.
Yes, the jig is Daniel Francis Hannigan, also known as...
Brewster Hannigan, also known as Ralph Mudge, and also known as Danny the Dip.
Louis, turn them over.
You'll find that this woman is an accomplice.
I've never seen these people till yesterday. Oh, come off it, Aggie. And tell them I'm good and nice. I always must.
Gee, I'm sorry, Miss Hannigan, but there was one thing you always taught me. Never tell a lie. Miss Hannigan is gone for good. Yay!
And you won't have to work anymore.
Yay!
Yes, girls, for you and perhaps for everyone, this Christmas is going to be a wonderful new life. A new deal. Hey, I rather like that. A new deal.
So do I.